Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Pierce College in Lakewood, Washington. Just about ready to open the match between the Capital Cougars and the Sehome Mariners, and we are in the consolation bracket. Yesterday, Sehome went down in defeat to Washington High School, 3-1. And then also they were defeated by White River, 3-0. Capital, on the other hand, in round one on yesterday, November 9th, they were defeated by West Valley of Yakima, 3-1, and then also fell to Sumner, 3-0. On the opposite court this morning, East Valley of Yakima plays against Mark Morris. So my name's Don Bouchel. I'm doing the play-by-play. Rylan Spencer is our producer today, and Sue Schroeder is our videographer. So Sehome is the designated home team, and they're in green and white. And on the opposite side of the court are the Capital Cougars, and we have Rachel Erickson. She will serve to open up the match. Here we go. We're underway. And the first kill of the morning, Taylor Lyle, a 6'1" junior. So the Mariners out to a 1-0 lead to start the action here. Lyle steps back to the service line and serves straight down the middle. Defended by Erickson. And a block. Successful for Sehome. Quinn Donaldson. And she blocked Paige Schieferstein. So the next serve, Haley Vick, and she comes up with an ace. So that puts the Cougars on the scoreboard as they trail 2-1. Kendra Thomas serves. Okay, the point to Capital as they had an effective double block at the net. Their front line, Samacia Huntley, number 8, and Danny Tabor, number 14. Also up in front there in maroon, Haley Pritchett, number 10. And the serve is a bit long, so that gives the Mariners a 3-2 lead in the first set. Capital 15-4 coming into this tournament, into this match. 22-8 for Sehome. The Mariners from Bellingham. Capital from Olympia. Up the longest volley of the match so far, and it's hit wide and long by the Mariners. And that ties up the set at 3 apiece. Danny Tabor serving. They set up Katie Becker, who just touches it into a zone without defenders, and unable to return it are the Cougars. That gives 4-3 the count in Sehome's behalf. Katie Becker serving, and that is served long. So it's competitive, 4-4. Both teams with 2 losses in the tournament. Capital sets up a cross-court kill by Rachel Erickson, number 6. It's Capital's first lead. They're up 5-4. Winner of this match plays the I'll study this bracket before I say anything wrong. Sehome with the point on that one, the kill, and it was deflected out of bounds by Capital. The loser of this match is out. The winner plays for 7th or 8th place against the winner of East Valley and Mark Morris. 6-5, Capital with service, Paige Schieferstein. Capital in maroon and gold. Sehome on the near side. The official got nailed by that block. So it was blocked out of bounds. And by Capital, Sehome ties it up at 6. Megan Greer serving. Is that a 9 or a 5? And the block, Taylor Lyle. An outside hitter at the net at 6'1", a junior. Yep, that's Megan Greer serving. And a service ace. So Sehome opens up an 8-6 lead. Greer back at the service line again. Serves left-handed. Danny Tabor with a big hit and unable to be returned as a block attempt at the line by Sehome at the net. The Cougars rotate with Rachel Erickson serving. They set up their big hitter up front, and that's Taylor Lyle, but it was returned, but into the net. So Danny Tabor, a little off balance, reaching back, and that caused her to hit low. 9-7 Mariners. Taylor Lyle serving. She'll stand in the center. Mariners hitting from outside the line, but they bring it back in bounds. And a touch soft hit by their big hitter, Danny Tabor. She's a senior at 6 foot. So it's 9-8, a 1-point advantage for the team from up north. Haley Vick served for the Cougars. And the kill, Samantha Huntley. That was Katie Becker. Well, I'll get it right eventually here. Erica Smith. She had the kill, number 9 of the Mariners, a 6-foot junior. Well, we got a lengthy volley going on now. And the kill, that was Paige Schieferstein. So it's 10-9. Cougars down by 1 with service. Sam York, the server, she's number 12. And Sehome with the kill. A cross-court hit into the left corner. Coco Cowie serving. Dig by Kendra Thomas. And a kill from the middle of the court. And that was Taylor Lyle. She's got power, and a timeout taken with Sehome leading 12-9. You're watching the 2A competition in volleyball of the WIAA State Championships. So let's recap some action from last night. West Valley defeated Burlington Edison 3-0 in the winner's bracket, and West Valley advances to face Sela, who defeated Washington 3-0. So that game at 12:30 this afternoon. Colville and Tumwater will play at 12:30 also in the winner's bracket. And Tumwater defeated Anacortes 3-2 in what looks like perhaps the most competitive match here to date. It was Tumwater winning the first set 25-23 and then falling 26-28 and 23-25, but then taking the final two sets 25-18 and 16-18. Cougars, they score. And the kill notched up by Rachel Erickson, number 6. She's on the front line along with Haley Pritchett and Samacia Huntley. Service ace for the Cougs. Danny Tabor serving. 12-11. And Cougars down by 1 with service. Okay, reverse hit didn't quite get over the net. Kendra Thomas. So the score is tied at 12. Cougars with a chance to take the lead. They set up their big hitter, but it was saved by the Cougs. And then they hit down the left side and score. And the kill by Rachel Erickson. She's joined by Samacia Huntley and Haley Pritchett on the front line of the team from Capital. Sehome answers to tie the game back at the set back up at 13. Danny Johnson will serve. This time on the left-hand side. Server can go to any side of the court and even beyond the sidelines as long as they're behind the service line. Nice set for a big hitter, but she's unable to take the big swing at it. That's Taylor Lyle. And it's hit a bit long. So Capital with a 14-13 advantage. We're in set 1. Their libero, number 5, Marissa Ottensen, serves. And the kill at the net by Taylor Lyle. She's number 11 on the front line. Erica Smith with her up there, number 9. And the Cougars come in with a nice touch into a zone not occupied by a defender, and that was Haley Pritchett scoring. Stepping back to serve, Paige Schieferstein, left-handed. Sehome keeps it going. Oh, there's a hit straight down the middle. Haley Vick with power. 16-14 as the Cougars at 15-4 lead by a couple over the 22-8 Mariners. There's a big hit across court, and it is successful by Taylor Lyle. So that's quite a weapon for the Mariners if you can set up Lyle. And they've been doing a lot of that, setting her up on the left-hand side. And it looked like a missed opportunity for the Cougars, as now the Mariners and Cougs are tied at 16. We're playing to 25. Megan Greer serving. And Capital was in the net. Greer and the Mariners keep service. Ball handling error on the part of the Capital Cougars. And we have a timeout on the court with the Mariners 18-16 in set one here at Pierce College in Lakewood, Washington, the WIAA 2A volleyball finals. On the opposite court at the moment, Mark Morris and East Valley of Yakima. And on this court, we're 18-16, Sehome Mariners. The Mariners from the Northwest Conference from Bellingham. And the Olympia area for the Capital Cougars and the Evergreen Conference. This broadcast brought to you by Play On Sports. Rylan Spencer, our producer, and Sue Schroeder, our videographer. So Sehome with a 2-point lead. Back on the attack with the serve in set one. And a block at the line, at the net. That was by Erica Smith, a 6-foot junior. Greer serves again. And it is long. So it's a 2-point lead for the Mariners in set one as they lead 19-17. That was Erickson serving for the Cougars. Erickson very active in this volley. He's had 3 touches so far for Capital. Whoa, 4-hit violation. Boy, that was quite a flurry of activity for the Cougars to save that one from touching the parquet, but 4 hits got him. So back to serve is Taylor Lyle. She's number 11. She dives and digs and saves that one, does Lyle. Whoa, that was a block by Erica Smith. The Cougars had Danny Tabor with a powerful hit, and that's what you want to set up, but the block by the Mariners nullified that big swing. Now it's a 4-point lead for the Mariners. 21-17 in set one. There's that setup again, and this time it's a different hitter. Danny Johnson, a 6-foot sophomore. 5 seniors for Capital. That serve a bit long. 22-18. Mariners with a 4-point edge in set one. And 3 seniors for the Mariners. 5-3 on the senior count. And a cross-court hit once again. Sehome very good at setting up their hitters on the left-hand side there. This time, Danny Johnson. (23-18). There's a big hit that does not get returned by Danny Tabor. Got some big hitters on this, on both teams. Very competitive set at 23-19. Cougars with service. Greer setting up the action on the Mariners side of the net. There she goes again. Nice setup. This time for Erica Smith. This is set point for the Mariners. There's a heck of a hit straight down the left-hand sideline by Danny Tabor. She's been blocked a few times, but successful more than not. So she steps back to the service line with her team down 24-20 in the first stanza. Into the net. One of the few times that has not paid off, with Danny Johnson hitting on the left-hand side after a nice setup. It's a 3-point advantage for the Mariners and a timeout taken. 24-21, we are at set point for Sehome. Evenly played match so far. The difference is a little bit more blocking, I would say. Both teams playing pretty clean volleyball, not many faults. Blocking on the part of the Mariners is probably the edge at this point. The Cougars have had Danny Tabor set up most recently. She had a heck of a hit, but it was blocked and returned. So, you know, that one, you turn that the other way, the score would be 23-22 at this point. So the blocking of the Mariners definitely giving them a bit of an edge. Both teams with good hitting. And that's hit long. So now we're at 24-22 as the serve is kept by Capital. Still set point in play for the Mariners. Big hit from the backside by Coco Cowie. It is returned successfully by the Cougars. There's their setup. But the Mariners don't score there, and a cross-court hit. Rachel Erickson. 24-23, timeout taken. This is an exciting set because it's so close. Saw a lot of action yesterday where it just wasn't close, and obviously things get a bit more exciting when we're neck and neck. So back to the bracket. Sehome lost to White River and Washington. So the Mariners have victored in one set, and they've lost 6, so they would love to pull this one out. Capital, same thing. They've won a single set. So we have evenly matched clubs. And that serve goes off to the side, was blocked to the side, an excellent serve, 24-24. So now you got to win by 2, so no longer set point for Sehome. Both teams with a shot now. And the setup goes into the net. They had Katie Becker there, but she wasn't able to push it into that zone where there was no defenders. Now we have set point Cougars. And it goes out of bounds on the hit down the left sideline, and Capital takes the first set, 26-24.
Hi, we're Chris
and Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities activities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
My family and I were enjoying a big vacation in Tahoe. After a great day on the mountain, our car wouldn't start. I got a jump, but it kept dying. Everyone in town said,
"Go to Les Schwab."
When I pulled up, George delivered. He quickly tested the battery and confirmed it was a goner. While he installed a new one, I finally got my first relaxation of the vacation. It's nice to be treated like a neighbor so far from home. I'm Clay Gilman, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
So set one is in the books, and Capital, they were trailing 24-20, and it was Sehome set point, but the Cougars scored 6 unanswered, and they brought it to a 24-24 tie, and then 26-24 they take set one. So yesterday in the opening rounds, as you would expect, you see a lot of lopsided stuff. You see teams with very strong teams playing teams that are not as strong, and that's just the way it works. You try to get your team in that position so you can advance in the winner's bracket. So both of these teams fell into the consolation round, but now they're obviously playing each other, but they're evenly matched. So that was an excellent set of volleyball action. It went back and forth. Not keeping track of lead changes or anything, but there was a bunch of them. So, and now we're ready to start set 2. And the teams switch courts, and the Mariners are in green on the far side. Capital in maroon and gold near us here. Thanks for joining us. My name's Don Bushell. Thank you very much for being here and spending your time on Saturday morning. And Capital saves that one and keeps it in play. A double hit violation against the Cougars, however, that'll give the Mariners a point to open up set 2. Megan Greer, the server at 5'4". She's a sophomore. So the Cougars, one thing I like to analyze in high school is, they're young kids, obviously, and they have 5 seniors to 3 seniors on the roster for the Mariners, and it just makes a big difference in athletics. And so Capital had the edge on the seniority, and they were able to pull off that first set victory. So serving for the Cougars, Rachel Erickson. Mariners unable to bring it back across the net. So the Cougars with a 3-1 advantage in set number 2, leading the match 1-0. Nice serve. It was a line drive, harder to return that way, and Mariners unable to keep it in play after the serve. So it's 4-1 Capital. A 5'11" sophomore, Rachel Erickson, a right-handed server. Greer looks to be into the net as she attempts to set up one of her hitters. So just like that, we're in set number 2, and it's a four-point advantage for the serving club. Greer sets up a hitter straight ahead, and it's into the net. and that was Erica Smith. So 6-1. And, you know, psychology plays a big part of it is finally the Mariners get something to go their way as they trail 6-2 in set number 2. You know, they had it at set point, and it looked like they were going to take it, but they gave up 6 unanswered points and lost the first set, and that can kind of play a psychological game with you, and now you have a hard time getting going in set number 2. But they just had a service ace, so that'll raise their confidence level. I'm sure they're a very confident club all the time. And that's all about coaching. At this level, the coaching staff is you know, it's all about coaching. Christy White, the head coach of the Mariners, Natalie Zukowski of the Cougars. And the Mariners on a little bit of a run, a 3-0 run. They trail set 2, 6-4. Janelle Allison and Sean Ulrich, the assistants for the Mariners. That was Taylor Lyle with the serve. And that hit coming back with quite the velocity from Danny Tabor. Assistant coaching staff for the Cougars, Kathy Buchanan, Nikki Fernandez, Lori Hahn, Sabrina Hooks, Rose McPherson. 7-4 Capital. One of your lengthier volleys going on right now. Oh, what a save by Greer. This is the longest volley of the match, and it's into the antenna, and the Cougars persist and come out on top on that point. 8-4 Capital in set 2. Haley Vick, a 5'11" senior, serves. And that hit is long. 9-4 in set 2. So a little bit of a difference in sets here. Each team going on runs of points, where the first set was more back and forth, back and forth. They set up their big hitter, but she just touches it into an area, and Victor's on that point. 10-4, and we have a timeout. So in set number 2, the Cougars with a 1-0 advantage lead set 2, 10-4. Later on today, we have winners bracket action. West Valley of Yakima against Sela. Both teams sweeping in their second round. West Valley beat Burlington Edison 3-0, and Sela the same to Washington. So Sela hasn't lost a game. They also defeated White River 3-0. West Valley of Yakima did lose 1 to Capital, who's playing right here. So Capital's out there with the lead. They're ready to play. Typical when teams take timeouts, the team on top is like, yep, you know, forget this timeout. Let's get back out there. They're usually the first ones back on the court. Sehome taking their time to get back out there for a little extra coaching. Oh, man, there's some power. Danny Johnson. Perfectly set up by Greer. So Sehome with service, they trail 10-5. They were down 6-1 before, and they went on a 3-point run. They'd like to duplicate that effort here. That's Kendra Thomas yelling, mine, 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 and it does work out to be a Sehome point. And that's why you call the timeout, is to get the coaching engaged and see if you can get your team to right the ship. And the Mariners keep it in play. Oh, here comes nope, not a big hit, but they did set up their hitter. And a violation against the Mariners. So they were unable to get that streak going. They still trail by 5. Capital, I'm sure, feeling good about their chances here as they lead set 2 and won set 1, 26-24. Coco Cowie, number 3, steps in to serve for the Mariners. We'll run down the entire rosters here at the next break. Cougars and Mariners with a long volley. And that's in. At the back line, that's Taylor Lyle. Hit it over everybody. Seemed to have an opportunity to hit more of a line drive, which would have been returned, but she put it just beyond everybody's reach and placed it strategically at the back line for a point. 11-8, make it 12-8. Cougars by 4 in set 2. Danny Tabor serves. And it's just not quite a repeat of the last Taylor Lyle kill. It was a bit long. 5-point lead. Cougars, set 2. And that hit cross court a little beyond the end line. That was by Rachel Erickson. Sarah Cox is a 5'5" sophomore. Haley Craybill, a 5'4" sophomore. Shayna Griggs, a 5'4" senior. That point goes to Capital as they're up 14-9. Allison Huisiak, a 5'5" junior. Marissa Otteson, excuse me. A 5'4" sophomore. Rachel Erickson, a 5'11" sophomore. And the point to Capital. Paige Schieferstein, a 5'9" sophomore. This is the Cougars roster. Samaisha Huntley, a 5'10" senior. It's a 6-point advantage for the Cougars. And it's cut to 5 as hitting from the back is Coco Cowie for Sehome. They take service. Naomi Roycroft, a 6' senior. Haley Pritchett, a 5'10" junior. Continuing on with the Cougs roster. Wow, that was power down the right sideline. Haley Vick. She's a 5'11" senior. Sam York, a 5'9" sophomore, and Danny Tabor, a 6' senior. Marissa Otteson, a 5'4" sophomore. Naomi Roycroft, a 6' senior. So that serve unsuccessful, and it gives the serve back to the Mariners as they trail 16-11. So Capital was down in set 1, 24-20, rattled off 6 straight, and now they've stayed in command of this match as they lead set 2, 17-11 on that cross-court hit by Rachel Erickson. Natalie Zukowski is the head coach of the Cougars. Kathleen Buchanan, assistant head coach. Also coaching staff, Nikki Fernandez, Lori Hahn, Sabrina Hooks, and Rose McPherson. And the Mariners, Taylor Lyle, a 6'1 junior, puts a point on the board with her kill. She steps back to the service line. Her teammates, Danny Johnson, a 6-foot sophomore. Coco Cowie is 5'6 senior. Casey Grosso, a 5'5 sophomore. And the serve's a bit long. Serve back to the Capital team as they lead by 6, 18-12. Megan Greer, a 5'4 sophomore. That serve into the net. Kendra Thomas, a 5'5 junior. This is the Mariners roster. Quinn Donaldson, a 5'10 junior. Katie Becker, a 5'7 senior. Erica Smith, a 6-foot junior. And the point to officials, a little confused there, to Capital, waiting for the signal. And a timeout on the court. Alex Wilkinson, a 5'6 senior. Taylor Lyle, a 6'1 junior. Danielle Strasser, a 5'10 junior. And Taylor Harris, a 5'7 sophomore. Taylor Harris. Coaching staff, Christy White, Janelle Allison, Sean Ulrich. And that is the Sehome Mariners roster. They come into this tournament at 22-8. And the Cougars at 15-4, comparable records. Both teams in the consolation bracket in set 2. The Cougars 19-13 after winning set 1, 26-24. Sehome lost to Washington 3-1, and White River 3-0. In the White River contest, they did have a 26-24 loss. Capital lost to West Valley of Yakima to enter the consolation round, and then beat Sumner. Sehome beat White River. (20-13). Capital in the lead. Got to become more of an expert at reading these brackets. So Capital beats Sumner. So 25-18, 25-11, and 25-10. And Sehome beat White River 25-15, 26-24, and 25-18. So 20-14 in set 2. Sehome with the serve. And there's a service ace for the team from up north. They need another run. They had a run earlier in this set, but the Cougars have pretty much kept them contained. A hit by Rachel Erickson from the back. And the violation against the Cougars. So the Mariners, they're not out of this one. They're trailing 20-16. Their opponent rattled off 6 straight in the last set. They can do the same here. And the kill by the Cougars. That's Danny Tabor stepping back to the service line. She had the kill. 21-16. Cougars with a 1-0 edge in this match. And the cross-court kill. Rachel Erickson, 22-16. Cougars looking to close this one out and take a 2-set advantage. Whoa, there's an answer kill down the left-hand side by Yeah, that was Danny Johnson. The point goes over to Sehome. They trail 22-18. Johnson is serving. They set up Lyle, but were unable to pick up the point there. Nice dig by Otteson. And that was outside the line. Quite a hit by Johnson. 23-18. Cougars with the advantage and the serve. Marissa Otteson. Into traffic, and it was returned by the Cougs. Not ball handling violation called against Capital. 23-19 Cougs. And a timeout taken. This is the WIAA 2A Volleyball Championship at Pierce College in Lakewood, Washington. My name is Don Bushell. I'm joined by Rylan Spencer, producing the video, and Sue Schroeder, our camera expert. So yeah, I read the bracket wrong earlier. Sorry about that. So Capital defeated Sumner in round 2, 3-0. Sehome over White River, 3-0. That got them both into this first round on Saturday morning here on November 10th, 2012. And it's worth inserting that because you can get this video on demand way down the road. So sometimes I watch these things and I'm wondering, when was this? Mariners serve outside the line, and that makes it 24-19. Set point is coming up for the Cougars. They took set 1, 26-24. Paige Schieferstein served. Pressure's on the Mariners. Well, there's a big cross-court hit for the win. Rachel Erickson from the left side to the right corner. 25-19 is the final in set 2, and the Cougars take a 2-0 lead. You're listening to and watching the WIAA 2A Volleyball Championship, and we'll be back after this break.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, well, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires good to have?
lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back to the action here at Pierce College in Lakewood, Washington. My name's Don Bushell. And Capital with a 2-0 lead in sets. Rylan Spencer, our producer, Sue Schroeder on video. And Capital in the maroon on the far end of the court. They won the first set 26-24 when they were down 24-20. So they went on a 6-point run to take set number one. What it looked like the Mariners were going to close it out. And then Capital kept the momentum in set two and won that one 25-19. The difference in between the sets was number one was very back and forth. Lots of lead changes, 1 point, 2 point leads. The second set, not so much. Capital took a 6-1 lead in the beginning of the set. There was a 3-point run by Sehome to get it close while it was in the single digits. But really, Capital kept the cushion the whole set long. So Sehome's going to try to turn it around. They start off good right there with a kill over the middle by Kendra Thomas. Actually, that was Erica Smith. The Mariners' numbers are a little bit difficult to read. Not making excuses, but, you know, there's a lot of uniform styles, and some of them are far easier to read. In this case, Capitals is far easier to read. So Haley Vick places it where there's no defenders and ties the score at 1 and steps back to the service line. Danny Johnson returns that one. Okay, they're going to set up Johnson, and she's blocked at the net, but the block goes out of bounds. 2-1 Mariners in set three. Their libero, Kendra Thomas, will serve. And there's some power coming back this way. Danny Tabor was not as active in the second set as she was in the first, but she's off to a good start in set three. Sam York serving. Up, there they are, setting up their big swinger, but it's blocked. They try it again. This time she goes for the soft touch, but doesn't clear the net. So the serve stays with Capital. This time they set up on the right-hand side, and that one is in. So the hit by Quinn Donaldson, a 5'10" junior, ties it at 3. Donaldson rotates. And then serves. And Greer cannot clear the net. Cougars take the lead 4-3. Taylor Harris. No, excuse me. Danny Tabor with the serve. Oh, it falls right there with a miscommunication among the Mariners players. And we talked about number of seniors on each team, and that's where usually the advantage comes in. Senior heavy team is less likely to make mistakes like that. Mariners pick up the point, and they will serve with Danny Johnson back at the service line. They trail by 1. That was a big hit by Erickson, and it finds its way beyond the back line to make it a 2-point lead for the Cougars. So this set, more like set 1 than set 2. Set 3 going back and forth on the lead changes, or we are playing close, whereas set 2 was pretty much dominated by Capital. And now the Cougars have picked up another point and widened their lead to 3, 7-4 in set 3. First set, 26-24. Second set, 25-19. Both Capital victories. Four-hit violation. They tried to set up Rachel Erickson, but the setup was a little wide, so point to the Mariners. And that serve not successfully returned by Capital. Another service ace. That is Katie Becker serving, a 5'7" senior. And the Cougs come up with a point. 8-7. They've got the advantage. Paige Schieferstein steps in to serve for the Cougars. Number 7. Wow, that was a powerful hit down the left line. And it could not be handled by Taylor Lyle. She had the big hit. Cougs couldn't return it. Tied at 8. So Mariners trying to keep their day alive by, they need to win this set to have any chance. And the Cougars, they hit it too far. So Mariners come up with a lead in this one. They are on top, 9-8. Megan Greer, setter, back with the service. Got to get it across the net in 3 hits. Cougars do so, and then strategically placed in the right corner, and that was Erica Smith with a big hit. And the Mariners happy about their performance in set 3 as they take a timeout and head to the sideline, leading 10-8 in WIAA 2A volleyball competition. So as we take a look at the bracket, winner of this game moves forward at 2:30 this afternoon to play the winner of the East Valley and Mark Morris contest currently underway. And that contest is currently tied 1 set apiece. So the timeout is over. And both teams back out there ready to play. Mariners enjoying a 2-point lead. Megan Greer will serve. And a kill set up for Taylor Lyle. So, as typical for the right-handed hitters, the setup was on the left-hand side, and it's a 3-point lead for the Mariners. They're looking to take set number 3 as they've lost the first 2. And the crowd yelling roof as the block successful by the Mariners. They're up by 4. Mariners front line, Lyle, Smith, and Donaldson. Doing a good job on that last point. Up, there's the setup. And the hit and the point. So Greer sets up Lyle, and it's a 5-point lead. Mariners getting amped up out there. They need to as they trail 2-0. Cougars not out of this one. We saw a 6-point run out of them for them to win set number 1, so they're trailing by 5 currently in set number 3. And the Mariners score again. They're having a great time out there. Erica Smith hit it right down the middle. 6-point lead, 14-8. Left-handed Greer serving again. They set her up one more time, and it works again. They keep going back to the well, and why not? Taylor Lyle down the left sideline makes it a 7-point lead. So this is the best they've looked, the Mariners, in this match. And a timeout taken by Capital. So the Mariners like it when you force the other team to take a timeout. The only problem with that is it'll break your momentum a little bit. The team from up north really has it going here in the third set. They did lose the first two, 26-24 and 25-19. So on the winners bracket, we've got Tumwater and Colville at 12:30 today. Tumwater beat Anacortes 3-2 last night. Colville was a sweep over Squim, 3-0. Also on the winners bracket, West Valley of Yakima against Sela. Both teams swept to get into the semifinals. West Valley 3-0 over Burlington Edison, and Washington over Sela 3-0. (15-8) in set 3. Sehome looking to widen the advantage. Lengthy volley going on here. And a perfectly placed touch. Haley Vick. Actually, that was Sam York. Both had a hand in it. 15-9, Sehome still with a wide margin in set 3. There's a big hit and a point. Danny Tabor with the kill. A 6-foot senior. So it's a 5-point deficit, and the serve with the Cougars. They set up Tabor again, and she zings it down the left sideline for another point. That 7-point lead is now down to 4 as the Cougars are starting to get their momentum back on their side. And the Mariners crowd quiets a bit as they can see it too. Up into the net, so the Mariners extend their lead 16-11. Taylor Lyle serving at 6'1". Blocked out of bounds, the point to the Cougs. Danny Tabor. Hard to stop, especially if you set her up at the net. She's really hitting downhill this morning. there's a kill, perfectly threaded. And that shot by Quinn Donaldson, a 5'10" junior. 5-point lead, Sehome. They're looking to take set 3 as they drop the first 2. And that's in. That was Rachel Erickson. She kills it and hits it to the back line. No defenders nearby for the Mariners. Back to a 4-point deficit in the serve with the Capital Cougars. Sehome Mariners will set it up straight down the middle. It's blocked and then saved. Wow, that was a big hit by Tabor, and it's out of bounds. It is blocked out of bounds, so it's a 3-point lead. Sehome trying to keep Capital away from their lead, which is now diminishing. Tabor with a block, joined by Erickson at the, actually that was Samacia Huntley. Tabor is rejected. So it's a 5-point lead for the Mariners, 19-14. Mariners trying to keep the momentum in this game. They've been up the entire game. It's mostly, the set. It's mostly been their set. Set 3 has been. Tabor touches it over the net. And coming back at high velocity with the point, Taylor Lyle. Quite the line drive and too hot to handle. 6-point lead. Sehome with the serve. Donaldson hits it. And the serve was returned, and then Sehome could not volley it back. So 5-point lead, and Capital came within 3 a few minutes ago. They're back to a 5-point deficit. Danny Tabor will serve it. They set up the big hit, but it was effectively blocked by the Cougars. Rachel Erickson and Naomi Roycroft. (20-16) Cougars looking to get a little closer here. And the Mariners come out on top on that point. A 5-point advantage in set 3. Danny Johnson serves. And that's hit long. So the Cougars still with a shot, although they're down 21-17 in here, the third stanza. Marissa Otteson serving. This volley starting to take on some length, but the Mariners, they cut it short right there. Credit Katie Becker with the kill. But she'll serve. 22-17 in set 3. Mariners with a 5-point advantage. They were in this position in set 1 and still lost it after the Cougars went on a 6-0 run. So I'm sure they'll be keeping their concentration. This time it's in. They take a 23-17 lead. Cougars trying to stay in this one, and they pick up the point. Haley Vick hits it downhill. Paige Schieferstein will serve. Five-point deficit for the Cougars, trying to close the gap here. They can't do it as it sends it to set point. That long hit out of bounds. Megan Greer will serve for set point, 24-18. Cougars trying to stay alive, and they do. They do. Rachel Erickson puts it where there's no defenders. Erickson steps back to serve. Hit wide. That makes it 24-20. Now, there was a 6-point run. That's going to be hard to repeat for the Cougars, but they did that in set one where they were in this exact position. Big hit blocked by the Cougars. Yep, Cougars pick up another point. You know, if you've done it once, you can do it again at a timeout on the floor. 24-21 in set three. The Mariners with the advantage as they trail 2-0. This is the WIAA 2A Volleyball Championships at Pierce College in Lakewood, Washington. The Capital Cougars against the Sehome Mariners. Don Buchel on the play-by-play. Sue Schroeder on video. Rylan Spencer, our producer. So the winner of this match will face the winner of Mark Morris in East Valley of Yakima. Rachel Erickson serving. And there's another point, as that's a service ace. So 24-22. Cougs down by 2. It was 24-18 just a couple minutes ago. So Sehome must be wondering if this is going to happen to them again. Whoa, a big hit blocked. Out of bounds, and the Mariners. Yep, that point goes to the Cougars, 24-23. So another timeout taken. So a 5-0 run by the Cougars. They were down 24-18, and they had a 6-0 run in the first set. So the momentum has swung again. It wasn't that long ago that the Mariners were just dominating this set. A timeout was taken. We talked about the timeout. Good that you have to put your opponent in a position where they need to take a timeout, but that worked to stop the Mariners' momentum. And now a 5-0 run by the Cougars. We're still at set point for Sehome. Rachel Erickson has been serving quite well. And there's another good one. They keep it in play. Up into the net, and the Mariners come up with a 25-23 victory in set three. So the Cougars with a 2-1 advantage in the match. They were coming back pretty hard there, but could not pull it off. They had a 5-0 run in the third set, but the Mariners victor will take a timeout with the Cougars leading this match 2-1 over the Sehome Mariners.
Hi, we're Chris
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
The Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.
At Les Schwab, along with great prices, our tires come with the kind of protection most other places just don't give you, which includes free flat repairs, equal value replacements, pre-trip safety checks, and more for the entire life of the tire. With the other guys, you just never know. So why is free protection on your tires a good thing?
Lifetime protection. That's our best tire value promise. Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back to the WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 2A Volleyball Championships here at Pierce College in Lakewood, Washington. And it is the Capital Cougars with a 2-1 set advantage over the Sehome Mariners. And the Mariners taking set 3 by a count of 25-23. And, you know, they've got to be lamenting that they did not take set 1. They had a 24-20 lead and then gave that one up to the Cougars. So set 3 was pretty similar to set 1, except that the Mariners were able to pull that one off. So they are down by 2, and they will open up to serve set 4. Of course, the first 4 sets will go to 25. Set number 5, if we get there, will go to 15. And Megan Greer serving. And just like that, it's a 1-0 lead on the service ace. Cougars could not return it. Everybody having a great time here. An excellent venue for this kind of event. Both tournaments on a single basketball court, so it's cozy and pretty loud too. So it's a good venue, pretty exciting, especially when you have an exciting match like this one. It's being closely played. So an in the net violation gives Cougars their first point. Capital Cougars, Natalie Zukowski, the coach. Sehome Mariners, Christy White, the head coach. And the Mariners with a kill attempt unsuccessful. Blocked by the Cougars or in the net, or a combination of both. Taylor Lyle and Erica Smith, they're big swingers for the Mariners. Mariners keeping it alive, and as we talk about Taylor Lyle, she hits it down the left side at the back line with intense velocity to tie the set at 2-all. So Lyle steps back to serve. Gets some English on it, so some movement on that ball. Breaking down as it goes over the net. Haley Vick returned it. But then a ball handling violation off Vick's hit, and the point to the Cougars. Haley Vick is number 13. Back to serve. Oh, the serve into the net, and we have seen very few, if any, of those this morning. So this first match started at 8:30 Pacific. And the next match is scheduled to start at 10:30. I'm not sure we'll make it there. This has been a pretty long match, as all three games going to the wire. So the point to the Cougars. The first set was 26-24, so the second set not as close, 25-19, but the third was 25-23 as Sehome came up with their first victory, the first two sets to the Cougars. So you have a pretty lengthy match going at this point, and certainly conditioning will come into play as we go down to the wire, and the Mariners pick up a point and tie the set at 4. So this set starting out to be like the first and the third, where they are well, more like the first. The first one was very close, 1 point going back and forth, 1 point differential. So right now we have 5-4, and the team's playing very evenly. Sehome with the serve. Mariners in green. Olympia in maroon. Greer sets it up and unable to take the set and do anything with it. So back to a 5-point tie. Danny Tabor, number 14, serving. And that's in. Wow, what a hit. Danny Johnson, cross court, inside the line or on the line. Either way, it was close. Haven't seen any officiating controversies, shall we say, in 2 days yet. Sehome with a 6-5 lead in set 4. And they push it to 7-5. They keep the serve. Mariners put it back in play. And the Cougars narrow it to 1. So Capital with a 2-set advantage, giving up the third set. And the Mariners playing with their backs against the proverbial wall here in set 4, as they did in set 3. They did stave off a late run, as that point goes to Capital, tying it up at 7. Capital made a run at the end. They were down 24-18 and ended up winning 25-23. There's a big hit down the left sideline. Lyle with it, number 11. Even though her team's down, she's probably the most dominant in this match, with Danny Tabor just right there with her for Capital. There's the setup and the score for Rachel Erickson. Tied at 8. Paige Schieferstein, a sophomore. She serves. And the kill by Erica Smith It was blocked out of bounds by the Cougars. So we have an excellent set number 4. Back and forth, a 1-point advantage for the Mariners. And there's a hit for a point. Erickson hits it to the back line. A little bit of a help from a tip ball by the Mariners. Sehome takes a 1-point advantage. Erica Smith with the kill up front. Sehome again pushes it to 11-9. A timeout taken. So it's a 2-1 advantage for the Cougars, but the Mariners leading in set 4 after taking set 3. And it's a 2-point advantage in set 4. The Mariners will hopefully prevail, or if you're a Mariners fan, Capital, of course. Both these teams looking to advance against the winner of East Valley and Mark Morris. Later today in the semifinals, we've got West Valley of Yakima against Sela, and Tumwater and Colville. Mariners are 22-8 overall this season, 15-4 for the Cougars. Capital keeps it in play. And to the back line with a hit by Erica Smith. 3-point edge in set 4 for the Mariners. Lyle serving, and it's an ace. Erickson laid out for it, but could not dig. 13-9. Capital's got a lot of gas in their tank. They've come back from a couple of late deficits, successfully in set 1, unsuccessfully in set 3. So the fact that they're down by 3 at this point is probably not worrying them. And we talked earlier about they have 5 seniors on their club versus the Mariners, 3 seniors. And hey, you know, does that make a difference? Well, I'm sure anyone would want to have a senior-laden club versus not. And that just gives you a little bit more poise and maybe not going to get rattled when the other team takes a lead. Cougars have shown that poise twice so far today. First time it paid off, second time they didn't quite get there. Cougars keep narrowing the lead. They're down by 1. Allison Kwesiak, the server. And the Mariners widen the lead to 2. Mariners libero, Kendra Thomas, back at the service line. And the point goes to the Cougars. They trail by one, 14-13. Samisha Huntley substitutes actually that's Naomi Roycroft, number 9. Yes, and Huntley's out there, number 8. And it's at the back line again. So the Mariners have had several kills right at the back line, perfectly placed, that time by Danny Johnson. Very evenly played match so far as the Mariners take a 3-point lead, 16-13. This is a loser out match. Neither team want to be on that list. Cougars leading 2-1. Oh, a big hit, successful by Taylor Lyle, number 11 in green. And a timeout. Sehome with a 17-13 advantage in set number 4, trailing 2-1 to the Capital Cougars. And you're listening to the WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 2A Volleyball Championship. Capital breaks out of their timeout earlier than Sehome again. Mariners trying to keep the pressure on. They almost lost set 3, but they did finally prevail. Cougars made a big run at the end. Down the left sideline, Danny Tabor, and she's been pretty quiet in this set. Anything but in the previous sets in this match. Trailing by 3, the Cougars serve. Oh, swing and a miss, so the Cougs come within 2. There's an ace. So there you go. Capital on another one of their late set runs. This time it's a little bit earlier. And a timeout. So the Mariners were in relative command, but now only lead by 1. And just like last set, they're facing elimination. They got themselves in that position, unfortunately, by letting set 1 get away from them, where they had set point. And they're up 24-20. But the Cougars rattled off 6 straight. So the coaching staff, led by Christy White for the Mariners and Natalie Zukowski for the Cougs. Evergreen Conference, Capital Cougars from the Olympia area. They're 15-4 overall, 22-8 overall for the team from Bellingham. And the Cougars in maroon. Mariners managed to keep that one in play. Sehome up by 1 in this set. Cougars looking to tie. This volley ends right there with a Sehome kill. Katie Becker scores the point. And the Cougars come back and zing one to the back line to bring it back within 1. Cougars have trailed this set through its entirety. but we've seen them put the pressure on at the end of set 1 and set 3. So they definitely are, you know, they even though they're down at this point, they probably don't feel like that's a disadvantage. And that's out. That was hit out. So a 2-point advantage over the Cougars. Sehome serving. Mariners up. Tried to set up their big hitter, but couldn't get it done, and the point to the Cougars. They trail by 1. Paige Schieferstein, number 7, serving. Held ball violation against the Mariners. So that ties it up at 19. So the Cougars playing right with the Mariners. Mariners had the lead through most of this set, but they've given it up. And the Cougars take the lead. Leaning back, making the hit to put their team on top, Rachel Erickson. There's a service ace delivered by Schieferstein. And a timeout. 21-19. We are in set number 4. Capital Cougars looking to finish this one off, leading 2-1. And you're listening to the WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 2A Volleyball Championship. Don Buchel on play-by-play, Rylan Spencer, our producer, and Sue Schroeder, our camera person.
The WIAA thanks Washington's own Body Sports for providing the Bottom Profession 15-0 as the official ball.
On the opposite court, we have an excellent competition going on with East Valley of Yakima and Mark Morris tied through 4. Those scores 25-15, 25-17, 29-27, and 25-23. So the Cougars are serving with a 2-point lead. The Mariners with a big hit, but successfully blocked up front by Haley Vick and company. And the attack deflected and out of bounds. It goes for a point for the Cougars. That's Rachel Erickson. (22-19). The Cougars putting the pressure on, and they're in great position right here. They've been down at this point in a couple of the sets and have really put the pressure on their opponent. Now they're in a great position to be up top by 4, 23-19, as that block by Haley Vick. Schieferstein still serving. Left-handed. A little bit of action there on the cut. And it's a 24-19 advantage and match point. Match point for the Cougars. Mariners facing elimination. They're all having a good time though, still. Coco Cowie substitutes, and she had a big smile on her face coming in. These kids just love to play in these tournaments, win or lose. And it's in the net. And the final set goes 24-19 Capitals' way. They win the match 3-1. They took the first two sets. Sehome came back for a victory in set 3, 23-25. But the first two sets, 26-24, 25-19, and the last set, 24-19, taken by the Capital Cougars. We'll be on the air at 10:30, barring any delay at the venue here. And that will be Burlington, Edison, and Washington. I hope you enjoyed the play-by-play. My name's Don Bushell. Ryan Spencer on video. Sue Schroeder, Ryan Spencer, the producer. Sue Schroeder on video. We'll take a timeout. This is the WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 2A Volleyball Championships.
My family and I were enjoying a big vacation in Tahoe. After a great day on the mountain, our car wouldn't start. I got a jump, but it kept dying. Everyone in town said,
Go to Les Schwab.
When I pulled up, George delivered. He quickly tested the battery and confirmed it was a goner. While he installed a new one, I finally got my first relaxation of the vacation. It's nice to be treated like a neighbor so far from home. I'm Clay Gilman, and that's my Les Schwab story.
Les Schwab, doing the right thing since 1952.
Hi, we're Chris,
And Anna Groneveld, local dairy farmers from Monroe, Washington.
the Dairy Farmers of Washington, along with Les Schwab Tires, are proud co-title sponsors of the WIAA High School State Championships.
The Washington Interscholastic Activities Association supports high school programs and activities that keep our kids growing in mind and body.
Today's high school students will be some of tomorrow's community leaders, and we feel it is important to do our part in helping foster an appreciation of community, responsibility, teamwork, and sportsmanship in today's youth.
The WIAA helps provide those opportunities through athletic, artistic, and academic competition.
Please join the Dairy Farmers of Washington and Les Schwab Tires in supporting young people in your community by attending your local high school state championships.
For a complete list of events and activities in your area, visit WIAA.com.